Am I audible?
Ah,
Okay.
sir.
Good morning to all. Today we are starting
Hmm.
our unit number 5 of this digital design and hardware description language of this TYANTC subject. So in that hardware or here testing of this logic circuits, we know that in this chapter, the digital system testing and design methods that make the system easier to test we are studying. So we have already discussed the use of testing during the design process. We have written VHDL test benches to verify that the overall design and algorithms used are correct. So for that purpose, we are using the testing. We have used a simulation at the logic level to verify that the design is logically correct and it meets specifications. After the logic level design of an IC is completed, additional testing can be done by simulating it at the circuit level. To verify that the design has been correctly implemented into that circuit level, we are further requiring the testing so that we are able to say that our manufactured device is working correctly. So when a digital system is manufactured, further testing is required to verify that it functions correctly. When multiple copies of an IC are manufacturing, because here we are manufacturing a million number of ICs. So if we have not tested that single IC, then here the million number of ICs that we are manufactured are wasted. So to avoid that wasting, we are using the testing. So in sometimes testing requires some cost, but here that cost is important as we are here we are comparing with our loss. So with today's complex ICs, the cost of testing is a major component of the manufacturing cost. Therefore it is very important to develop. So it is very important to develop a system that can be design our device. So design for testability is thus an important issue in the modern IC design. So here into that or the firstly we are using the automatic test pattern generators, or these are employed in order to generate the test sequences required for testing the circuits and systems. One of the problems encountered is that normally we have access only to the input and outputs. So when we are performing a third year diploma projects, at that time we know that we are able to test only that input pins and the output pins, or whether they are working correctly or not. But here internal paths we also require to test. So here to reduce the number of test pins required, we are introducing the concept of scan design, in which the state of the system can be stored in a shift register and shifted out serially, or we are able to say that scan testing. Or in that scans testing, we know that if our IC is of the AND gate, we know the when the both the inputs are high at that time, output is high. So similarly we are scanning its output. So for that purpose we are using the scan test. And finally we will discuss the concept of built-in self test, or here that system is built in to uh, testing to self. Or we know that in our PCs, when we start running that PC, or we are switch on that PC, here is testing that here the memory is working correctly, the softwares are working correctly, or here input devices are connected, output devices are connected or not, that can be tested. So here by adding more components to the IC, we can generate a test sequence and verify the response to these sequences internally without need for the expensive external testing that is present in the built-in self-test model. So the second one is nothing but the testing of the combinational logic, or we know that combinational circuits are nothing but the circuits which are made up from the AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate, XOR gate, or like from that. So how we are able to test that circuits? So here for testing that AND gate, we know that AND gate are having the two inputs, A and B, and we are considering the output of that AND gate is C. So when we apply 1 1 or here 1 0, then we are checking the value of the output that is available at the C point. So here two common types of the faults are short circuits and open circuits. We know that if we have not connected the system correctly, then here it is in the open circuit formation. But in sometimes that the connections are very closer to each other, or that due to that connections are very closer to each other, here the possibility of the short circuiting. So if there is a short circuiting, we know that the current is dangerously flowing through that circuit. So to avoid that short circuit or here open circuit formation, or to find out this fault, we are using, or here generally there are two faults, that is nothing but the short circuit fault and the open circuit fault. If a component, if the input to a gate is shorted to ground, the input acts as if a stuck at logic 0. If that input is shorted to the ground, then it is acting as a logic 0. If the input to the gate is shorted to the positive power supply, or here unfortunately if our that input is shorted to the positive power supply, at that time the input is to the gate is always at logic 1, or we are calling this one as a stuck 1. So if the input to the gate is in an open circuit, the input may act as if it is stuck at 0 or stuck at 1. So it doesn't changing, but here in some time or in our practical way, we have to change the input, or 1010 formation, that input we have to change. Thus, it is a common practice to model the faults in the logic circuit as a stuck at 1 and stuck at 0. To test the input for stuck at 0, the gate input must be 1. So, change to 0 can be detected. Or here, if that gate input is stuck at 0, at the time we are applying 1 as the input. So if we are checking that output side, here it is the correct value or not. If that correct value is not available, we are considering that input 1, but it is stuck to the 0 value. So from that we can test an AND gate, or generally example for that AND gate for a stuck at 0 faults by applying ones to all inputs. We know that when to that AND gate all the inputs are 1, at that time output is 1 as shown. So we are able to say the notation from 1 to 0 on the gate at input A means the normal value of that input is 1, but the value has changed to 0. It is giving us a fault, because here all the values are 1 at the time, the output must be 1. But if there the output is 0, in that case we are able to say that there is some inputs which are stuck at 0. Or here to test that OR gate in the opposite manner. OR gate, we know that if any one input to that OR gate is 1, at the time output is 1. But if we are applying all the inputs as a 0 and we are also obtaining the output as a 1, means here the input side there is a stuck at 1 possibility. So that is nothing but the fault. So the say similar manner, so it is very easy to find out the faults from this combinational logic circuits, or the AND gate, OR gate, or NOT gate from that. But here the another one is nothing but the testing of the sequential logic, or here sequential logic circuits are nothing but the flip-flops circuits. So here into that flip-flops, the output is dependent on the present state plus the input state. So previous state we are able to say, that is the Q and Q bar. On these two values the output is depending of the previous one. So here to test that flip-flops or to test that sequential logic, or here testing of that sequential logic is generally much more difficult than testing the combinational logic, because it must be used sequence of inputs for the testing. If we can observe any the input and output sequences and not the state of the flip-flops in a sequential circuit, a very large number of test sequences may be required to test the sequential logic circuit. So here large number of test sequences we require. So here basically the problem is to determine if the circuit under test is equivalent to a correctly functioning circuit. So we will assume that the sequential circuit being tested as a reset input. So here for the testing, first we are applying the reset signal, because here the state is stored into the flip-flop. We know that flip-flop is a 1-bit memory. So to remove out all the stored data, we are using the reset signals. So we are attempted to the testing the signal using the reset. It is known as the initial state. Or if we attempted the test using the reset, then the circuit is at the initial test and apply a test sequence and observe the output sequence. If the output sequence was correct, then we are able to say that our circuit is in the correct formation. But here if there is a difference at the output side, at the time we are calling this one as a fault, and we have detect the fault by using the testing. So one way to derive the test sequence for a sequential circuit is convert it to an either, or here to convert it to an interactive circuit. Or interactive circuit means that combinational part of the sequential circuit. So into that a state graph which can be able to draw from this sequential circuit is strongly referred to find out the fault in the sequential circuit. So here from that sequential circuit we are using the input state as well as the reset button. So it goes to the initial state, then applying the test of sequences and checking its output. We know that the output of that T flip-flop is toggle, D flip-flop, so here JK flip-flop, SR flip-flop. From this output logic table we are able to test its output. So the next point is nothing but the scan testing, or what we are able to scan testing. So the problem of testing a sequential circuit is greatly simplified if we can observe the state of all the flip-flops instead of just observing the circuit output. So instead of observing the output, we are observing the states of all the flip-flops. So for each state of the flip-flop and for each input combinations, we need to verify that the circuit outputs are correct and that the circuit goes to the correct next stage. One approach would be to connect the input of each flip-flop within the IC being tested to one of the IC pins. Since the number of pins on the IC is very limited, this approach is not very practical. So the question arises how we can observe the state of the flip-flops without using the large number of pins on the IC. So if the pin, or here if the flip-flops were arranged to form a shift register. So if that flip-flops are arranged to form a shift register, then we are able, or then we could shift out the state of the flip-flops bit by bit using a single serial output pin on the IC. And this leads to the concept of the scan path testing. So we know that there are the flip-flops are very larger. So we are arranging that flip-flops in such a manner that they are connected one after another. And from these flip-flops, we are applying a shift register concept, or in that shifting one values from one flip-flop to the another flip-flop and checking the state of the flip-flop. So due to that, here the time is also saved, as well as the flip-flops which are not working correctly, we are able to find out. And that concept of testing we are calling as a scan test. So into that scan test, the type is nothing but the boundary scan testing, or into that. So firstly, scan test means we are applying values to that flip-flops in a sequence form, and that sequence input as like a shift register input. That shifting of that values shift, that is the out of state of that flip-flops, bit by bit using a single serial input output pin. So due to that single serial input pin here, the values are shifted, and by testing that values, we are calling this concept of that testing is nothing but the scan path testing. So the type of that scan path testing is nothing but the boundary scan, or in that boundary scan, here we know that boundary means here outer part. So in that outer part, or in that ICs, we have, or here generally microprocessor IC, these are having a 40 pins. So that 40 pins are correctly connected into that circuit or not, that can be find out by using the boundary scan. So as ICs have become more complex, or right now the ICs are becoming more complex with more pins, printed circuit boards have become denser with multiple layers. We know that PCBs are also very denser, and it is in the multiple layer form, 2 layer, 3 layers, that can also be routed, or here connections are routed to the 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layers. So here the so testing these PC boards after they have been locked with the complex ICs has become very difficult. So if we connected that ICs inside the PCBs, so here it is very difficult to find out the fault. So testing a broad or testing a board where we are mounting that test, or here ICs on that board by means of its edge connector, or here the pins connected, or here edge connector does not provide adequate testing and may require very long test sequence. When PC boards were less dense with wider traces, testing was often done using a bed of nails test fixture. This method used sharp probes to contact the traces on the board, so test data could be applied to and read from the various ICs. So here from this board, when we are connecting, we are applying the test data, and we are also checking the outputs of from this test board. So when the PC boards were less denser with wider traces, testing was often done using a bed of nails test. So we are connecting the, or we are testing that connecting pins, and that if they are very wider and denser, we are calling this one as a bed of nails test fixture. This method used sharp probes to contact the traces on the board. So data testing should be done on the board, and that we are calling as a bed of nails testing. So here boundary scan test methodology was introduced to facilitate the testing of complex PC boards. It is an integrated method for testing circuit borders with many ICs, or here the standard for the boundary scan testing was developed by a joint test action group, or that can be done by a joint test action group, or we are also calling this one as a JTAG, JTAG, that is nothing but a joint test action group. And this standard has been developed as a IEEE standard 1149.1, or we are also using the library declaration as a 1149.1, that is nothing but a testing standard, or that we are called as a standard test access port, or here standard test access port means TAP, that is nothing but a test access port and boundary scan architecture. Many IC manufacturers makes IC that conform to this standard. Such ICs can be linked together on a PC board so that they can be tested using a few pins on the board or on the PC board. So here into that we are going to see the diagrams or the beds of the nail test. So into that beds of the nail test, we are testing the surrounding pieces. Or here beds of the nail test, printed circuit board tester gone, and we put components on the both sides of the PCB and replace the dual inline package. You know that the generally the and or here PC, IN 16004, or these are the IC numbers, and if we see that IC structure, the IC is having the pins from the left side and the right side, not on the top and bottom. So here that is we are calling as the dual inline package, or with flat flags to reduce the inductance. Nails which hit the components. The next one is the reduced spacing between PCB wires. So here we are also able to reduce the spacing between the PCB wires, and a nail would short the wires. So PCB tester must be replaced with a built-in test delivery system, or that built-in test delivery system we are using a BIST, or here that is a built-in test system. But here the JTAG does not test work as a built-in self-test. So for in that JTAG system, we put or we take that IC, then mount that IC on the PCB board, then apply some inputs and checks its output. So that is we are calling it as a JTAG. But here generally right now the built-in self-test circuits are there which can test the circuits selfly. So here the need standard system, test port and bus integrate components from a different vendors. So here that test bus identical for the various components, and one chip test has hardware for the other chip. So here that one chip which we have manufactured to test that IC is also same hardware for the other chips. So these are the advantages. So into that beds of the nail tester concept, or in that bells of the nest tester concept, we are connecting the inputs to that pins. So firstly, we are applying the data which is in the data drive states. So we are applying the data. So firstly, the drive states, we are able to drive that, or drive states are used to for the purpose of to perform or to create that devices which are under state is in the on condition. For that purpose, we are using the drive states, or here driver, to drive that gates. And after that driver of that gates, we are applying the input to that gates and find out its output. or that output is nothing but the probe nail, or here fixture probe nail, and that part is nothing but the PCB under test part. So here the actual received states, and we are comparing that with our expected received states, because we know that as we apply the input we are able to find out its output. So we are checking whether this output is as per our required states. If not, then we are calling this one the part which we are under the part which is under the observation is nothing but is having some sort of the faults. So this one is nothing but the bed of nails tester concept. So we are using that boundary scan test, which is a nothing but the standard IEEE 11. So the name of that IEEE standard is 1149.1 for the testing of the system. So why we are defined that standard, or that purpose of the standard? So the standard, or here it is a one kind of the way through which we are testing the circuit. So here less test instructions and test data can be serially fed into a component under test. Or here we are serially entering the data and checking the output states of the each flip-flop. So here the component under test, we are shortly we are able to say that CUT. Then here after that, firstly we are sending, then allows the reading out of the test results, and allows a run based command as an instruction. So here too many shifts to a shift in the external test. So here the JTAG can operated at chip, PCB and system levels, allows control of tri-state signals during testing. So let's the other chips collect the responses from the component under test, and after collecting that response, the system which is tested or verifies that output, and lets components be tested separately from the wires. So the structure of that boundary scan register test, or here in that boundary scan test we are having the input output pins. We are applying that input, or here apply some values to that input output pins and finding the output. So here for central part is the system circuit, and system circuitry or that IC is having the input and output, as well as it is having the device ID register, bypass register, instruction register. Then here the controllers, the controller which we are using is nothing but the tap controller, and through that tap controller we are applying the inputs. So here figure shows an IC with added boundary scan logic according to the IEEE standard. One cell of the boundary scan register, we are also calling this one as the BSR. One cell of the boundary scan register is placed between each input or the output pin and the internal logic core is we are able to test. So here 4 or 5 pins of the ICs are devoted to the test access port, or here we are having the TAP port for this test access port. We, or here tap controller, we know that TAP is nothing but the text access port controller, or here uh, like that 4 or 5 pins. So here mainly the pins are nothing but the TCK, TMS and TRST. These are the 3 pins. So the tap controller and additional test logic are also added to the core logic on the IC. The functions of the tap pins according to the standard are as follows. So here the pins which are we are applying to the tap controllers, these are nothing but the TDI, or here the pin is nothing but the TDI. So here, so that is nothing but a TDI pin, or TDI means here test data input, or this data is shifted serially in the boundary scan register cell. So here that we are inserting that data and it is shifted in the serially form. Then here TCK stands for the test clock. TCK is nothing but the test clock. And TMS means here test mode select. This one is the test mode select, or selecting the mode. Then TDO stands for the test data output, or here serial output from the boundary scan register. And here TRST, or here reset, that is nothing but a test reset, or resets the tap controller and test logic optional. A PC board with several boundary scan ICs, that is we are able to see a single IC system. So another one, second, third, fourth, we are using a serially a PC board with a several boundary scan ICs is shown. We are able to connect each other. The boundary scan registers in the ICs are linked serially in a single chain with the input TDI and output, that is we are calling as the TDO. Output is the TDO, input is the TDI, or test data in, test data out. The TCK, TMS and TRST, that is nothing but a timing, or here clock signals, are connected in parallel to all of the IC. These are, even we are creating a number of uh, designing system, that is this one is the first, then here is the second. So here it is the first, here it is the second, then here it is the third. Likewise, if that system we have created, so here if that first, second, third or boundaries can chain view, then we are able, or here boundary scan cells on one the prop periphery of the each IC that conforms to the boundary scan standard. The structure of the typical boundary scan space cell is shown in figure. A boundary scan cells has two inputs, that is the TDI. First one is the TDI input and another output is nothing but a TDO. Similarly, it has two outputs. So first one, it is has the input, then here TDI. Then it is also having the output. That is the first one is the nothing but the TDO, and the next one is the parallel data. Or here we are collecting the data in the parallel form. Parallel data output. Then here the elementary boundary scan, or we are able to see that in that elementary boundary scan, we are applying that output to the system logic, and input is from the pins. So here shifted values from that elementary boundary scan, like that, here to the next cell, then next cell, then next cell, we are sending the value. So here multiple scanning through that boundary scan. So here boundary means here we are scanning the output pins which we are connected to that IC, not the internal part. So here output part we are testing. So first system, then here second system, then third system and fourth system. So from this one is clock we have connected in the parallel form. Yes, TCK, here is also TCK and here is also TCK. These are in the parallel form. So here TMS signal, that is the test mode select, that signal is also connecting in the parallel form. So here firstly we are inserting the TDI, that is the test data in. Then here to inserting that second chip, or here we are able to see that we are inserting the data through that second chip, and after that inserting the data that can be processed, and here the data is produced in the output side, but here that output we are applying the input to the chip 1. After that input to that chip 1 or output from this chip 1 is applied to the input of that chip 3, and from that way here it is serially connecting and we are obtaining the serial data out into that boundary scan test. So that is the point which we have discussed in this lecture. So so that all about the boundary scan test, and into that boundary scan test it is also having a VHDL code, and in that VHDL code we are able to write down the statements which are applied for this boundary scan test. But we also remember that the boundary scan test we are using for the purpose of the testing the outer pins of that IC, not as the internal pins. So in the next lecture we will cover the next point, or that is we called as a built-in self-test, or here inbuilt testing can be done. So we will stop here. If you are having any doubts, then you can able to ask. Any doubt? डाउट आहे का काही?
नाही सर.
नाही ना. ओके.